do the one. So we're going to do now the Kinnot for the martyrs of the Holocaust. There are several versions of this. The one that I've chosen is the one written by Rav Shlomo Halberstam, the Sanz Rebbe. For obvious reasons, we've got a big connection to Sanz here in Netanya. He was the Bobber Rebbe. He lost everybody in the Holocaust. He, wife, children, everybody, and all his followers. And then he went to America after the war. Here in the Art Scroll says as follows: the Rebbe arrived in America after the war with nothing but the clothes on his back and a burning determination to rebuild what the Nazis destroyed. With the help of Hashem, the glory of the house of Bobov has been restored, and we find dozens of Bobov institutions and thousands of Bobov Chassidim in every corner of the globe. In 1984, the Bobov Rav composed a special Kinnot to bemoan the tragedy of Churban Europe, and it's recited in many congregations. So it's on page 384. We'll say this, I think we'll read it in English because I think it's something that we'll be able to understand better. Remember, please, and lament, O all of Israel. Let your voices be heard on high, for Germany has destroyed our people during stormy days of the World War, with killings horrible and cruel, with starvation and thirst. For all generations, do not forget, until you will merit witnessing the ultimate consolation. Remember their screams and their weeping as they were tightly packed and locked into the train's cattle cars. Like sheep to the slaughter, they were led to be incinerated in the crematorium ovens. May the sound of their pleading cries be eternally remembered by the one who dwells in the heavens. When they proclaimed Shema Yisrael, they offered up their lives to the Lord of Lords. Rashi Yeshiva and their students and the multitudes of your people were there. They enslaved them with brutal tortures, and they slaughtered them with high-handed arrogance. The blood of tender babes cries out to you from the earth, saying, exact vengeance for the children and the women. Let no living soul escape alive. For the burning of thousands of study halls and synagogues, and for myriad Torah scrolls and their students, we shall lament with raised and screaming voices. They set God's sanctuaries aflame. They ignited them, and our eyes witnessed this. Let those who lit the fire suffer retribution. May God judge the corpse-filled nations. Cry out loud, O heaven and earth, for the thousands of cities, citadels of Torah, and the countries of Europe and their Jewish communities, the heirs and trustees of our traditions. For righteous tzaddikim, elders, pious chassidim, all those who cleaved unto a faith so pure. From the day we were exiled from our homeland, there was never an annihilation as awesome as this. Be compassionate with our remnant. Look down upon us, please, from the heaven, at the death camps of the martyrs, 10 times as many as those who left Egypt. Rebuild our holy temple and provide us with double consolation. Exalt us and bring us back to Zion v'Yerushalayim. Can you imagine, just for a moment? Imagine just for a moment how those people must have felt in 1945 at the end of the war. Devastated, completely decimated. And yet, within 3 years, Kamat Medina. And that's how we've got to be now. Full of hope. We will prevail. After October the 7th, we all felt devastated. We still feel devastated. We don't know what's going to happen today or tomorrow. But what we do know is that after the worst devastation in the history of mankind, never mind our own history, mankind, 3 years later, we stood there and we had our own homeland back again. And that's the hope, Hatikva. That's the hope that we have to have now. I want to finish with the Kinnot that was written especially by Rabbi Yosef Tzvi.
I also sent it out if anyone's on
this is a Kinnot that was written for now by Rabbi Yosef Tzvi Rimon. and we're going to sing it to the tune of Eli Zion V'areha. I'm just going to read the English, and then we're going to sing it. David's going to lead us with the singing of that, and with that, we'll conclude. Rav Yosef Tzvi Rimon is the Nasi of the Mizrahi movement. He's the president of the Mizrahi movement, World Mizrahi movement. He's the chief rabbi of Alon Shvut in the Gush. He is a posek. He's a great rabbi. He's also a veteran of the IDF, and he has zechut to have been in uniform and to be the rabbi of many of those who are in uniform and have fought for our people. And he writes like this: Simchat Torah Shmini Atzeret. Our dancing was turned into despondent grief. On this day, the fences were breached in the towns of the Gaza envelope, Ofakim and Sderot. How was our land humiliated? The land was filled with Hamas. To play on words there, Hamas comes from the flood. Before the flood, Hamas meaning violence. Here it's Hamas, also meaning violence. From the Gaza Strip, the source of the evil, from the root of Hamas came poison. How in place of 7 hakafot, they fled for their lives for fear of kidnapping. A cruel enemy ignited fires, murdered, degraded without letting up. How in place of the prayer for rain, my beloved went down to the scented flower beds. Roses were murdered, a desecration of God's name. Do not give a memorial and remembrance to the murderers. How in the 76th year, there were pillars of smoke, blood and fire, a Jew in hiding, whispering in fear, instead of the joy of the Holy Shabbat. How did the precious children of Zion fall into the hands of accursed rapists? The plucked of cheek were given over to the attackers. Our brothers were taken captive by the violent ones. On the day your name was defiled, soldiers fought to advance your great name. Look and see. Mi k'amcha Yisrael. Who is like your people, Israel? Strengthen us and give us courage, and may the Redeemer come to Zion. They fought like iron, the beloved brave ones, the gentle souls guarding from the oppressor. Due to their courage, we witnessed salvation of worlds. Our statue was straightened in a generation of redemption. On the day our inheritance was defiled, the bravery of our people was released for publication. Our courageous ones gave up their souls in their palms. Our Father, our King, avenge the vengeance of our brothers. By your great name we are called, the one who remembers and mentions the covenant of our forefathers. From north and south they rise up to destroy us, but your covenant remains steadfast for us in our land. The dictators of Persia initiated plots. They sent barrages against those who raised a prayer. They sat in shelters, their eyes hoping. They saw your miracles, the awesome one of praise. The wings of spirit, the wings of eagles. We have seen soldiers' wives, parents, and children bury their loved ones. Strengthen and fortify them, the congregation of heroes. Waves of hate engulf your world. Oppressors swarm over those who sanctify your name. They chase your messengers, those who carry your flag. May you skip over us with love. Return the hostages. Call for freedom for those in captivity. Plant those who've been uprooted with everlasting love. Rehabilitate the wounded. Raise up the depressed. Lead your congregation with kindness and mercy. We give thanks to you for our state and for our redemption and the salvation of our soul. United, lead us upright in our land. Haste the son of David, Mashiach Tzidkenu. משורש חמאס יצא הצבע, במקום שבע כפות, נשאו על נפשם מימד חתיכות, אויב עכשיו מציל חיפות, רוצח משפיל בלי הרפות, איפה במקום תפילת הגשם, ועד תודי לעבוגות הבושם, בחינו לשם, יד השם, ארץ שבעים ושש, לימוד עשן דם באש, יהודים לחבור נחרד ולוחש, אחר חבל קודש, בני ציון היקרים, נפלו בידי הנאצים הארורים, כותב לקינot עולים למכים, חטופים בידי המסיקים. לא שמחה יתהלל, לוחמים נפלו את שמחה לקדל, הבטו להם יקר ישראל. עשינו ועשינו ולציון הגואל, אכן נחמו אמיצות ואמיצותים. הנה נפש מיצר מגינים, תגועתם ראיתו תשועת עולמים, זקפה קומתנו גוגלים, נפלאה נחלתנו, וקרא כבשם גורת עבדנו, נפשם וחבל עושים גיבורנו, אבינו מלכנו כמו נפלתנו, שבעה גדול נקרא שמנו, זכור נזכיר את אבותינו, צפון מדרום מלכתנו, נקרא עובדת לנו בארצנו, עצי פרס יעזבו עלינו, מטחים שלחו לנושאי תפילות, צורים ישבו ביניהם יחלות, ונצח הרעון נורא תהילות, כנפי רוח כנפי נשרים, לא ראינו ראיות חיילים, הורים וילדים את יגיריהם מקבלים, בגלל זה מדת תמיד. שנאה שוטפים עולמך, שוטפים צרורים המקדישי שמך, קוטפים את שלוחך, נושא לגניך, כפיים לפתיחך, שחטופים וכל השבויים, קוראים אבל נצחים, שקים פצועים ומתים קרים, ילדתך בחסד ורחמים, אם אנחנו לך על מדינתנו, על גאולתנו ועבדות נפשנו, מאוחדים תוליכנו וטובתנו בארצנו, ושתביא לתשיעת צדקנו. I'm going to finish with a short prayer for unity, written also by Rabbi Yosef Tzvi Rimon. מי שבירך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, הוא יברך וישמור כל אחד ואחת מישראל, ייתן בלבנו להביט בעין טובה על הכל, ונזכה להיטיב לכל, בכל מכל כל. איתה אחדות ואהבה בתוכנו, ונראה במהרה בן דוד משיח צדקנו, ונאמר אמן. He who blessed our fathers Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, may he bless and protect everyone within the community of Israel. May he instill within our hearts to look favorably upon all, and may we merit to be endowed with goodness in all ways. May he implant unity and love within our midst, and we shall speedily see the coming of the righteous Mashiach ben David ben Omar. Amen. Aleinu.